Hey guys, so I know it has been a minute. I miss you too. We are all going through withdrawals. Let's talk about it in the comments. Like, if you're going through withdrawals, the first step is acknowledging that we have a problem. And that's okay, okay? Like, we were going through something. We were together every day. We were together 6 days or 6 days out the week. And then to just be cut off abruptly, it happens to me every year. But that's okay. That's why we're going to get our fix together. We're going to talk about our Islanders, give us some Islander updates. And I love inspirational Islander stories because we don't always get that. You know, a lot of times we root for who we're rooting for and that, but we don't get the inspiration, the depth. And so I'm excited to kind of talk about Miss Zeta's beautiful blog post and as she discussed her celibacy and what that means. And then we also finally got some words from Jeff. He had an interview with Elephant in the Room podcast. And so I'm going to leave all the links below so you guys can check that out. But let's talk about the connection, guys, and make sure you subscribe if you have not. Like, okay, like, because I went through a whole intro. Thank you. But let's break down these Islanders because we had a lot of connections this Labor Day weekend. First of all, we had all the Islanders, not all of the Islanders, but a lot of Islanders from past seasons connecting with the new Islanders. Some people don't like it. They call it clout chasing, and it definitely could be opportunistic. I mean, I don't blame people for taking opportunities. We could definitely break down our opinions on that. But what I will say is almost like a sorority, fraternity, because all of these people went through such a unique experience that none of us really, you know, we watch it, but we can't fully identify. So I get it. It's almost like, you know, we gotta kind of let you in and we got to go through the little period where we go through, kind of vet you in. So I like to see it. It's fun and, you know, no harm, no foul, like whatever. So we had those reunions. We had Isaiah coming to see Sydney over the weekend, and now Sydney has made her way to Isaiah. So I'm loving the interaction and the willingness to go back and forth to see. Now, granted, they are so young. So whether they're going to make it forever, I don't know, maybe, but they're living in the moment. They seem to be having a lot of fun and enjoying it, enjoying the attention. So I love to see it. We got Jesse finally made it out to Miss Deborah. They're out playing golf, having fun in the sun, and it looks good on them. They really, really look relaxed. They look relaxed. It looks good. Kat and Jared doing mukbangs. Zeta and Timmy had not reunited at the point when I'm filming this, but it was beautiful to see Zeta and Timmy's sister together. Because I believe it shows the seriousness. And I say that because it doesn't always have to. We know we have seen in the past where families have gotten involved and it might have been not what it was portrayed to be. But given how private Timmy seems to be, like, cause y'all are some real Inspector Gadgets, okay? Let me tell you, because the way some of y'all investigated to find pictures of Timmy's mom, I mean, just to get really like a background on Timmy, y'all really are real MVPs, okay? But like Timmy obviously is really private with his family, and I don't know that he's so forthcoming, which is, you know, definitely makes sense. So to see them together, really, it made me feel good. It made me feel like, okay, there's potential. This could be. Obviously we saw Naja and Jeff reunited over the weekend, and it still looks like it's going, you know, it's going. So, you know, it's just always beautiful to see. And I am going to continue to follow these couples. We're going to continue to break it down, discuss it. Hopefully, even if we do have some breakups, hopefully they're not ugly, messy, because we don't want to go through that again. But, you know, if whatever shall happen and take place, we're going to go through it together and we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. But before I waste any more time, I want to spend a lot of my time just talking about Zeta's blog post about her celibacy, because I thought it was so beautiful. It was so much more than what I even expected, which I don't know why, because like I really adore Zeta. But even if you're not like the biggest Zeta fan, even if you're not a Love Island like obsessed fan, I highly recommend you definitely joining Zeta Confidential. I'm going to leave the link below. Definitely to make sure check it out, because it was worth the read. It was definitely inspirational. Now, what I will never do is mess up somebody's bag, like, because it is exclusive content information and she has every right to make money, because if you read it, it's worth it. It's not even like this is something she was doing well before Love Island, and to allow herself to be so vulnerable and to share so much, even like just in her other blog posts, I mean, it really is. It just goes to show the depths of who she is and why she won, why she was so dynamic. Because like, and I say this all the time, like, and I know I probably, like, I don't know, beating the dead horse, like, but, and please don't nobody misquote me and say no, Zeta is everything, okay? She is a beautiful, gorgeous woman, okay? But when you get in these spaces, it's so much where everybody's gorgeous, but reading what she wrote, it just goes to show that she's so much more, and it's beautiful to see. She talks about celibacy and remaining abstinence, but well beyond even just sexual. She really just breaks it down just from a spiritual level and just energy. And it really was just such a beautiful read. And for me, it felt really good to be able to pull something, because I am an obsessed Love Island fan. I really love Love Island. And maybe for me, I don't know, because of when I got into Love Island in my life, because I'm not, like, if you look at my reviews, Love Island is pretty much what you see, and then some of the other more personal things for myself. But I am planning on doing more videos and things on other shows, but definitely Love Island is my baby and will have a special place in my heart because of how I came to it. And I'm so glad, like, I can pull depth from it, because I came into it in a really rough time in my life, and I needed something to take my mind off. And so, like, if you see my older videos, I've said it before, but generally, like, I was not a reality TV person. Like, I watch it here and there, and, like, you know, okay, whatever. I'm a geek. So, like, you know, I definitely like the podcast, but, you know, like, whatever, girl. And so, but when I got into it, it took me to a place that I needed to have my mind off of, just to get obsessed with something else, in a sense. Don't mean I wasn't dealing with my stuff, because I dealt with my stuff, y'all. So, but, you know, it gave me what I needed. And so now to be able to take even more from it, I'm just like, yes. So, she just breaks down, just truly, like, just really like peeling the onion to her core, and just, you know, even saying so many things that were not flattering, that so many other people, I don't even know if you would share. And really just talking about her connection with herself and what she saw for herself, what she wanted to be. And this goes, again, like I said, well beyond Love Island. And even just for her and Timmy to share, like, a similar, you know, what they want, just as it pertains to sex, as it pertains to life. But it really just goes to show that she truly knows who she is. And that doesn't mean that we don't fall short sometimes. It doesn't mean that we're perfect. But allowing herself to be so vulnerable and to share, y'all, you gotta read it. I want to spill everything and tell it, because some people are like, I've seen online, like, just somebody pay and review it. But, like, when I support my girl, like, I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me. And so, like, y'all, definitely check it out. And if you want to talk about some stuff in the comments, make sure you don't give too, but, you know, let's talk about it, because it is beautiful. Like, literally, like, I was, like, brought to tears, because it's just, for somebody to share that and to share those kind of experiences, and really just sit and just kind of, you know, she just talked about, so, like, just not so much, just stripping away so much in the finances, all of those things, stripping that, like, you don't need in the celebrity of, just, you gotta read it. Like, it's beautiful, and it definitely, it's just something more that we can take away. And like I said, when you can watch a show to get away and kind of watch the foolishness, watch the whatever, the simplicity, I guess, that Love Island can be at times, Zeta definitely brings a depth, and definitely just a beautiful nugget that you can take away. And so I highly recommend, because it's amazing. Now, Jeff did an interview, and I'm not going to drag Jeff, y'all. Like, Jeff did an interview, and it was with one of his friends, some of his old, I think, football buddies. And so I was really excited to see Jeff and to see kind of like what he was going to say. We're going to find out something new, and not really too much. I mean, he did say he was not invited to the interview. He didn't go really any, you know, further as to why. I felt for me like the Jeff that we know, the Jeff that is very raw, that is very, I mean, when he speaks, he wants to be heard, regardless of whether, you know, people think it's appropriate, whether it's not. And I just didn't feel in that interview, I felt like sometimes when he was asked questions, he had some of the very same concerns now about Naja that we had, but I felt like instead of kind of taking a moment to reflect on it, it was just deflection, deflection, deflection. Now, as a grown up, as a grown man, he can do whatever he chooses. And if he chooses to be in that, then that's totally fine. Like, I mean, a million people do. A million people are going to always have opinions. That is what it is. But, you know, like Jeff is so raw and so real. Like, I was expecting more, even just in his clarity. Like, I felt like when he was talking, he did a lot of mumbling, and I'm not used to like, don't get me wrong, like he'll say certain things, but like when he wants to make his point, typically like he is really crystal clear, and I just didn't necessarily feel that like he was feeling confident. It felt like he was trying to almost convince himself in some ways at certain points, and so I didn't love that. But it just seems to me like Jeff kind of has his nose wide open. I want him to open up his eyes a little bit. And then if you go in with your eyes wide open and, you know, fair exchange is no robbery, like whatever the case, whatever that may be, if she's looking for the opportunity to come up and he likes the girl and that's what he wants, if he likes the look of the girl, whatever the case, fair exchange is no robbery. So I'm not mad at it. And I wish them both the best. Like, I really do like Jeff. He did acknowledge, I mean, what we always say, we're human. I don't like people to hide behind that, but I didn't feel like he was hiding behind that. It was just a simple statement of saying, like, you know, look, you know, I got emotional in this moment. And I do think he, you know, he owned that. And just ultimately he talked about the situation with Timmy, and which was never, like, if you look at my videos, that was never my issue, like, at all. Like, I just didn't love the exchange with Naja, but that wasn't her issue either. So the issues that they had were completely different. So, you know, that is what it is. But basically, he was just saying that when they sat down and broke away, and you guys, I'm going to leave the link for the video because I want you to see for yourself and you can break it down. But it is, you know, everybody is not going to give the 50 minutes, you know, so just in the quick synopsis. I like that they did touch on the mental health. I wish it would have been a little bit deeper, but they did talk about the mental health sometimes, especially for Black men, but men in general, like on these shows being kind of, you know, disregarded. Like, we always... And not even we always, but like the women will bring up, but we don't talk about the men. But if you watch my channel, then you know that I talk about everybody, okay? So I don't know who they is, who they're talking about, but I do. But, no, but in all seriousness, they did touch on that briefly. I would have liked to heard a little bit more because I think that it's just a discussion that needs to be had. It's such a interesting spot and place to be put in this particular situation in Love Island, just the whole premise of the show. I guess even he referred to, I think, almost as a social experiment, but I say all that to say, so let's get back to the point. He talked about Naja. It was Naja's idea, which I felt like in an interview, she said it was Jeff, but y'all let me know if I'm wrong because it was after the island interview, but nonetheless, I digress. Jeff said that it was Naja's idea. Once they got back together after the fire pit, when all the couples dispersed, she made it clear, like, look, we are not voting Chad and Phoebe off. And he stood by his woman because he agreed. He felt however he felt, and about Jesse and Deb. You know, we can all agree to disagree, however you feel on that. And then I guess when what was said, and he's made the buddy comment, Zeta was the one kind of saying stuff, and Timmy stood up for his woman. And one of the interviewers, you know, he was just backing his woman. And I really think that, because we know that Jeff obviously didn't feel supported, but in particular, he said, I did what, you know, my woman asked of me. And he never really exactly finished the words of like, and you didn't back me. But, you know, essentially, like, now, I mean, I could definitely see, like, if you feel like Zeta, you know, she's out there running her jaws or popping off like Miss Zeta can do at times, and Timmy, you know, like, I'm a back of my woman, and he might have felt his way because everybody's entitled to feel how they feel. and then I did this off the strength of you and you didn't back me, made him feel some type of way. And he brought up several other instances where I guess he just didn't feel fully supported by Naja. And so when I'm talking about his nose wide open, I feel like, or when I say that he sees a lot of things we see, I do feel like he touched on a lot of the concerns and things that we see. Like, that it's not saying that they cannot work or that it won't work, but just saying, like, you know, when I guess his dad or him even said iffy, it's referring to some of those actions. And but whatever, like, it is what it is. Y'all let me know. Y'all watch the interview, because I just wish them both well. I really like Jeff. I'm rooting for him. He had a moment, like he said, where he was human and he could have been better. But I just think the whole experience, it doesn't shake the same without Jeff. Because I think, you know, he's been drugged a lot, and he's been, you know, supported in the sense of, when people talk about Naja and Jeff. But I'm going to give Jeff his flowers for a second, because it is so easy to drag somebody. But I genuinely feel like, looking at the show, and this is not a takeaway from Zeta, because Zeta, y'all know I spoke on her for about 5 minutes, okay? Zeta is dynamic in her own right. But I really genuinely feel like, given what was transpiring when Jeff came in, there is no Zeta without Jeff. I feel like Zeta needed Jeff in that moment. He was somebody, and you did hear him. Now, granted, even with the whole Phoebe situation and the Sydney situation, he was definitely pushing Phoebe. We talked about this, okay? But I felt like when the women needed somebody to kind of build them up, and we're having those kind of moments, you know, where you feel a little rejected, you're feeling kind of weird. I really felt like he was there. Now, whether it's the player in him or whatever people want to say, but I feel like his words were really, you know, they make you feel good in the moment, and it's encouraging. So, and especially like the situation with Zeta, you know, I'm glad Jeff was there, and I'm glad when we look, because it's, again, like I said, it's easy to look at that one situation, but I like the way he handled the situation when Zeta made the decision with Timmy. You know, like, he was put in kind of a weird situation with Bria. I still think that, you know, had Bria and Jeff gotten together, it could have been such a different situation for both of them. And I definitely think that it would have brought a totally different side of Bria that would have probably made her feel more comfortable. I think that they're cut from a very similar cloth. Like, when you hear some of her interviews and hear some of his, it's, you know, very similar mentality, kind of a true, like, ride or die kind of, like, you know, like, they just seem to have, like, a lot of things in common, and things that sometimes are harder to teach to somebody else, which I think Naja and him, I think on some levels, just there could be a disconnect on some things. But not to say that it can't work, because you don't have to all be the same. But with Bria, I felt like he stepped in and kind of, and again, whether he was playing the game or just kind of, like I said, just, you know, being a ladies' man and saying, but I really feel like he definitely played a huge role in the villa, and I'm hoping he's able to, you know, get better opportunities. And he said, he did mention that he reached out, because he said some of his goals were he wants to be on Power, he wants to be an influencer. Timmy allegedly wants him on the album. So we're going to see. We're going to see if all these things happen. But like I said, if you don't do anything else at all, y'all can check out Jeff's interview. Like I said, he didn't say a whole lot new. I would have liked to see him go in a little bit more detail on some things. The Tiger Lily situation was not addressed. That may be best, because that's a whole nother video in itself, Tiger Lily and TikTok and whatever is going on with her. But if you don't do anything else, check out Zeta's vlog, because I definitely think you can take away some beautiful things from it, and just be inspired, be better. It's beautiful, you guys. Like, but I will be definitely keeping you guys up to date as I see more things, and as I want to discuss things, especially just things that are cool takeaways, fun, and we're gonna have fun with these Islanders on whatever the journey is. We're gonna go along with it together. And let me know any shows you guys have that you want me to check out, because I got some stuff lined up that I'll be posting soon. But if you have something that you want to review, or that you want me to review and kind of give a, you know, I try to give an intelligent perspective, or a little bit different perspective than just, I definitely like to have fun but I definitely like to, I like to be intentional. And that's something that, again, that Zeta talked about, that I felt it way before Zeta, but like, again, like, it's nice when you can connect with different things, but I do like to be intentional about what I do. And you know, and I feel like, you know, you have a responsibility for whatever you put out there, because life is so short. And, you know, like, what do you want people to see of you? What do you want to leave? Like, what can you do? And, you know, you just, you always want to be able to take away from something. You could take away from Love and Hip Hop. You could take away from Moana. Like, you know, you could take away from the simplest of things. So that's what I try to do in my reviews. So I hope you guys feel it. And I hope you guys feel the love, connection. We don't often agree. I definitely welcome. I always say I welcome different perspectives, because that's what makes the world go round. That's how we learn from each other. That's how we get better, when we can reflect on others and reflect on ourselves. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what other shows you guys are watching, how you're getting over this Love Island withdrawal, what's getting you through. And I look so forward to talking to you guys soon and meeting you guys in the comments. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful night and a beautiful week, but I'll be talking to you soon. Peace, love, many blessings. Talk to you later.